Yo, what's going on, beautiful people? We are back with another episode of, you guessed it, Respect the Game podcast, man. As always, we greatly appreciate it and do not take it for granted. Y'all taking time out y'all busy day to listen to what we got to say. Who's ever listened to this episode, man, please, as always, share it. Make sure y'all get into the comments. We definitely been having a lot of people get in our comments lately, whether that's Facebook, Instagram, whether that's YouTube. We appreciate y'all giving us y'all takes. We gonna be putting y'all takes out there on social media. So man, make sure y'all keep showing us love, getting in those comments, and just showing us that you rocking with us or you disagreeing with us. Regardless, you watching the show, we appreciate it nonetheless. My name is Edward. Great decision that came from my mother to name me after my father, who is a great man. Please make sure you go follow at EMACStacks on all social media platforms for high school coverage, college coverage, and the NBA, professional, NFL, hockey, baseball coverage, the whole shebang. Make sure you do that for me. I'll definitely give you a really great coverage. And like I said, my name is Edward, but AKA Nathaniel on this episode or on this show, on this podcast that is, because I am Nathaniel without my brethren. So fellas, introduce yourself to the people.
Shine Heart Izzo, charismatic, excellence at its finest. Twitter, Instagram, SoundCloud, MySpace, if you still get on that, all that. Get into it.
Yo, it's Black Peace, also the host of Talkin Smoke. Go fuck with that, of course. Apple Podcast, Spotify, all that good business. Yeah, man, definitely give you that other angle. Pause.
I am.
I cleaned it up with the pause. For Christ's sake.
Oh snap! Oh yeah, no, go, bro.
And I am Coach Johnson. I'm the husband of Jordan. I am the father of Harper and Deuce. I'm here to bring the controversy and challenge your thoughts on things and to bring another angle. Yep. And I do want to give my boy Black Peace a shout out. Thanks for shouting me out on the pod. But there was a little sketchy.
Hey, I just muted Coach Johnson because I don't want him to interrupt this moment. I just want to say on the behalf of everybody listening to this podcast that each and every one of us is perfectly fine and comfortable with our sexuality.
Good evening, beautiful people. Good evening, beautiful people. I'm the one and only Sedacious Xavier Miles, and on behalf of me and the brothers, the silly brothers tonight, we just want to say thank you so much for tuning in. Please continue to tune in. And I want to do something tonight that I haven't done for a couple of episodes, and I feel like it's overdue. Now, I know my boy be capping about he's nothing without us, but really we're nothing about him. And that's EMACStacks. I want to say, on behalf of me and the brothers, and I'm pretty sure that they would agree that we appreciate you, bro. We wouldn't have this opportunity of having fans. We wouldn't have this opportunity of having listeners without you. So I appreciate it, my dog. Take it away.
Man, I don't even know what y'all talking about. But I appreciate that, bro. It's all love, man. But I'm nothing without y'all, no takebacks. All right, so check this out, right? Which one was worse, right? So the whole we all comfortable with our sexuality. You have to go listen to Black Peace's latest episode. I forget what episode that was, Darnell. I want to say I don't think it was the latest, but you got to go find it. This might be
listen to all episodes, you'll find it.
Yeah, the most recent, right? But to all y'all, right? Which one was worse, right? Darnell's I respect Christian and how he doesn't care about his sexuality, or mine's way back in the beginning of the podcast when I was like, oh no, Christian, you married, right? Which one was
No, don't let the top that, Edward. Don't let the top that you coming at that man marriage like that.
I don't remember it. What did you say?
Don't talk that.
I don't
I'm
remember
still not
it.
over that.
No, bro, I don't even remember that.
We was like talking about like relationships and like marriage and so.
Oh, boy, I remember that shit.
Yeah, I remember.
I don't even remember it, dog, so.
Yo, I was thinking about that. I was like, I had told her, and I was like, bro, I was messing with you, but when I thought back, I was like, I don't think nothing gonna top that one. You married, right?
Bro.
Yeah, I don't even remember that, bro. I really
my
don't
boy
remember
say,
it.
what does my wife
have to do it.
I'm like, yeah, you're on your own, Edward.
Oh,
I
man.
don't even remember that.
I remember Ray, bro.
Bro, I was like, you better hash that out with Christian. Yeah, let's talk that out.
Oh man. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's a funny one. That was a funny one. Yeah. We'll have to remind you after the show, Christian.
Like, we always like, yeah, Edward, where were you going with that?
Oh man. So yo baby, it is March Madness. I got on my Final Four cap back 2016 when I was at Syracuse University, and Syracuse actually made it to the Final Four. As fate would have it, this year Syracuse had to go up against U of H, and I was not going for Syracuse. I was definitely going for U of H. They won. They're headed to the Final Four for the first time since 1984. About 37 years. So salute to them boys. I definitely want them to win it all. Shout out to they got some huge roster, but for sure the freshman from Dickinson High School, and then obviously Quentin Grimes. I had a pleasure like covering him a couple times in high school. So, and obviously he's someone who went to Kansas, and everyone had a lot of hype around him. And then he tried to go work out to see if he was ready for the NBA draft last year, and decided to come back, transfer, and actually went to the University of Houston. And here he is playing a major role and leading his team to the Final Four. So big time shout out to U of H, the Cougs. Bring it home, do it for the city. Definitely repping y'all and supporting y'all, man. I mean, because y'all can do it. Y'all can do it. H-Town all day, baby.
Quick little question. That's a real 37 years, not 37 years like the hood shit, right?
No, that's a
just
real
to clear it up
37.
for the people.
That's
just
a
to
real,
make sure for the people.
Yeah, no, that's a 37. That's a 37. So yeah.
Just making sure.
Also recently too, this just in, South Carolina women's basketball team, the Lady Gamecocks, they headed to the Final Four, and they held the University of Texas scoreless in the fourth quarter to punch their ticket to the Final Four. I'm gonna say that again. They held the University of Texas, the Lady Longhorns, scoreless in the fourth quarter. That's not something to be taken lightly. There's defense on top of defense, and some more defense, and a little bit extra defense. So yeah, man. That's something you gotta show love to that. Just also last night, as we get into the show, you had Baylor fall short to UConn. And so I don't know if y'all had a chance to watch the game, but I watched the game.
Terrible call.
But here's the thing, though, Christian. Here's one of the things that I've learned about basketball as it pertains to like refereeing, is 2 possessions before that, Dejanay Carrington was successful in getting that foul call. Went to the free throw line and was able to put her team in position to, keep chipping away and eventually try to get the lead. Yes, terrible foul call, but in those situations, a late game situation like that, yes, it's the referee's responsibility, but you can't depend on the ref to give you that call. I take it, and I use that reference to a lot Damian Lillard when he hit the walk-off 3 against Paul George in OKC. Him, after being interviewed and like him, talking about that shot, like yes, we know he could make it from out that far deep, but one of his biggest reasons in taking that shot, apart from his preparation to be able to take it, was like he didn't want to put the game in the referee's hand, right? And so I know even LeBron tweeted about it, and it was like, "Oh, terrible call." But like when you go back and you look at that, obviously this is of no fault to Baylor or Dejanay Carrington, but like one referee was behind her on the sideline. So as she drove, the referee was actually behind her. Another referee was in the distance, like near half court, and I couldn't really see in the shot where the other referee was. But in those situations, man, you just gotta like do your best. Obviously, you want to force the refs to make a call, and obviously, yes, it was a horrendous missed call. But in situations like that, you gotta just like know that atmosphere and that vibe to like. Because I even said it, like you can ask your daddy. I was like, they're not going to give her that call anymore. So like they need to have either beautiful spacing coming out of the timeout, or they need to get a very nice look or jump shot off. And also too, like whatever the play call was, like they went too late with trying to attack because they put themselves in that position to when they finally did miss it or they didn't get that foul call. It's 0.8 seconds left. They go down and shoot a free throw and they only down 2 or 1 or whatever. And when you do get it, like it's really no time to do nothing with the ball. So had y'all went a little bit early, missed foul call, they get it, y'all fall. You may still have 5 seconds to play with. Who knows? But just word to the wise.
I'm 100% with you, bro. I didn't watch the game. I was just saying that because that was the one clip that I saw. That was the only clip I saw when I was looking at the lady. Yeah, I'm 100% with you. I'm with you on that. I always say don't give the refs a chance to F the game up. So
true indeed.
Yeah. But let's get into what we really want to talk about.
All right. So after that, obviously during the post-game conference, head coach for Baylor, Kim Mulkey, she pissed off or whatever the case may be. But apart from her being pissed off about the no foul call, she said verbatim, as both teams, men and women, go into the Final Four, dump COVID testing, let both teams duke it out, do away with the COVID testing, and let every team play to the end because it would be a shame for players to not be able to like get that experience because they got COVID. So I'll let you have the floor on that.
Yes. Okay, everybody's coming at this lady like she has, said the worst thing ever. Yes, I agree with her. Now, I at least 100% agree with her sentiment. I somewhat agree with her on them stopping the testing. Sure, they can continue the test, that's fine. But even if somebody tests positive, one of the players, they should not keep that player or that team from playing in the Final Four. Let me tell you why. I'm just throw some stats on y'all behinds. Okay. Now, as far as if we break it up by age, people who have been who have cases of coronavirus in America, right? The number one demographic and age group that has cases of COVID-19 is the 18 to 29 age group. Okay, 5.2 million cases of known cases of COVID-19. That's 22% of all cases, right? It's the number one age group, right? But this age group only counts for 0.5% of the deaths of COVID-19, right? Because we all know that it affects older people much differently than it affects younger people, right? 5.2 million known cases, 2,000 deaths. It comes out to a 0.03% fatality rate, again, of the known cases. Also, 78% of hospitalizations from COVID-19 are for people who are overweight or obese. These particular athletes are the healthiest people in a demographic that is not harmed by this disease very much at all. So their risk of harming themselves is very, very, very low. Now, people say, oh, wait, if they get it, they can spread it. What about, people spreading it? Listen, we have gotten to the point, we've had this thing for a year. The demographics that are most harmed by this, again, older demographics, have been vaccinated very, very much, right? 72% of people over the age of 75 have been vaccinated. 52% of people over the age of 65 have been vaccinated. And within a few weeks, that number is gonna grow. So the risk to themselves and the risk to other people is so minimal right now that you should allow them just to go ahead and play. They have worked extremely hard. Do not take this away from these kids. If for some reason the the hotel maid comes in the room and has COVID and spreads it to them, and okay, they can't play. We took away from them for a year. Don't take away from the kids who have worked this hard, who don't get paid to play. At least allow them to allow their hard work to continue to at least get something out of it, right? To be rewarded for it. They got there, allow them to duke it out, allow the kids to play.
All right, so I disagree with you. So I like you, I do understand her sentiment, but I know early on when this was happening, there's this like a diagnosis or whatever that comes from COVID called myocarditis, right? And it's simply inflammation of the heart. It's not something you can always detect. If not treated or caught soon enough, it could lead to cardiac arrest or irreplaceable heart damage, right? So yes, again, I agree with that sentiment. Now, why, if they do catch it, I would like for them not to play, simply because, again, myocarditis, inflammation of the heart, could get cardiac arrest. That could lead to death, but you gave your numbers. That's not extreme. That's not the most likely case. But if we're talking about these players, they have lives after this Final Four, this NCAA tournament. They may be trying to go to the lead in some sort, some way, somehow, right? What happens if, yes, you do have it, you tend to, you keep on playing, you don't treat it, and like just so happen, despite the numbers, like you're that one anomaly that slipped through the cracks, and COVID fucked you all the way up. Like is, I know we taking our vaccinations and so on and so forth, but like I think with so many unfortunate cases, or like it affected me this way, it did this to me, like I don't think you want to take that chance at a young age, considering you not only do you have your whole life ahead of you, but you still have like a potential playing career, whether that be in the NBA or whether that be the WNBA or whether that be overseas somewhere. And what if they're like, yo, we tried to send you through the test before we signed you, and like something a little off with your heart, like we don't know where that stems from. And so far,
I got you, Edward. And I was prepared for someone to make that case tonight. And my response would be, okay, well, any sport that has ever resulted in the death of a player while playing, we shouldn't allow those kids to play. Oh snap, they can't play the sport forever. They have a life after that. No, they understand the risk. The risk of me losing my life while playing this sport is very minimal. It can happen. It has happened. People have gotten effed up really, really bad playing this sport, but I'm willing to take the risk because the risk is low enough that the joy that I get and the opportunity that I get to play this game, right, outweighs dramatically the risk involved in me hurting myself or me doing damage to myself while playing this game. It's the same exact knowledge somebody will use in order to say, hey, even if I do test positive for COVID, there's enough medicine out there to help me out to get through this, so that I can play and all that stuff. So yes, I am with you on that, but we got to understand that we have to understand the risks involved and understand what the level of risk is and how these players can play with that level of risk.
I feel where you're coming from. Like I said,
also too, if all the players agree, hey, now if some players are like, nah, bro, after that, no, we ain't doing all that.
Give them that option. I understand. Maybe give them that option to sit out. So far to like wrap it up, Virginia Commonwealth, they had a player. I don't know if it had to be a player, because if it was a staff member, that staff member would just not be able to travel with the team. So they actually had a player at the very beginning of round one going up against Oregon who tested positive, and Virginia Commonwealth had to forfeit, and that was the first forfeit ever in 82 years of the NCAA tournament taking place. And that was in basketball. And there was also Notre Dame, their hockey team also had to forfeit because of a player testing positive for COVID. To what you saying, Christian, give them that liberty to make that decision. I say if you made it to the Final Four, you don't go back to school. Let's keep you in a bubble, do your coursework online or whatever the case may be, and let's be very strict on your access and take whatever precautions you need to take, like the NBA, but don't let them keep traveling back to and from, staying a week in whatever prospective school and then having to travel back. Keep them in a bubble, keep in whatever hotel, especially since it's only 8 teams left and they're both in 2 different cities, right? Indianapolis and San Antonio. So like that's a small size sample of teams and managers and whatever to be able to like isolate them.
They're not in the bubble already.
They have been, but what I'm saying is so far throughout the course of the NCAA tournament, they play those games Saturday, Friday through Sunday, and then they go back to school for the following week, then travel back. So that's what I'm saying. Like let's restrict as much opportunity for them to catch COVID by keeping them where they're at. So that's that. Moving on. With still with basketball, we got the a lot of transactions, trades, free agency, whatever. So the Nets picked up Blake Griffin, and then they picked up LaMarcus Aldridge. A lot of people was looking at LaMarcus Aldridge like, yo, Rose, you gonna come to the Lakers? Like, what's going on? But the Lakers ended up getting Andre Drummond, who was bought out. Well, actually, all 3 of those guys. Blake was bought out by the Pistons. LaMarcus Aldridge was bought out of his contract with the Spurs. And Andre Drummond was bought out of his contract with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Andre Drummond is with the Lakers now. Blake Griffin and LaMarcus Aldridge are with the Nets, who, as we all know, have Kyrie, James Harden, and Kevin Durant. To you, Black Peace, I will say you're a great basketball head. Is this move really something to be concerned about? Because right now the theme with the LaMarcus Aldridge and Blake going to the Nets is like people feel like they souped up now. They super souped up. Like, is it really like a big deal that those 2 players are with the Nets now?
Absolutely not. I feel like you get a good win out of Blake Griffin, but I would say, I mean, LaMarcus is a bit of a stretch. 2 years ago, you got a good solid player. Right now, I just feel like he's not a strong enough piece or role player, or even a position they want him to do. I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed at all. Like this team is. I still don't see them getting past the second round. I'm sorry. I'm very not impressed. They kind of just get. To me, it seems like they're getting names rather than pieces that actually help them. Like that's one thing I know is when the Lakers have been doing it. They've been doing it to where it's like, no, this is a good solid piece. Threes, defense, 3-and-D. Like let's set it up. It seems like it's getting a whole bunch of names that sound good, need a ring, and that's about it. They're not getting quality players. So I mean, it'll beefing them up, pause. But at the same time, though, it's not impressive enough for me.
The Supreme Laker fans on this pod: Sean Hart, Izzo, Live the Rapper, Sedacious, Andre Drummond, but still no LeBron or AD. What does this Andre Drummond move mean to y'all?
Unlike the Nets move that kind of doesn't make any basketball sense because they're loading up on forwards that don't play defense, who are offensive minded and offensively gifted, but just in the grand scheme of things, it's not what the team needs, right? They're in need of defense. They don't need any more scoring. There's not enough basketballs to go around for that. But like I said, in the opposite spectrum, the Lakers actually got a very much so needed fit, right? They needed a center who could rebound the basketball and just give you energy, effort, and, be a rim runner, be a rim defender, and just be active around the glass and the basket. And that's what they got in Andre Drummond, who I believe is a better rebounder than Dwight Howard. But that's no disrespect to Dwight Howard because I believe he's a good rebounder as well. But that's just a testament to, I think Andre Drummond averages about 14 or 15 rebounds for his career. So, that's going to be a good addition to them. And I think in the long run, it'll make more of an impact as far as, to their championship aspirations.
All right, so to piggyback off of the boy, I feel like, yes, Andre Drummond can play center. and AD can kind of play whatever position that he wants to play if AD comes back. So I think it's all predicated on the return of Anthony Davis as well. But to Darnell's point, I'm not gonna say that I disagree. Is that their basketball team don't make sense, but I feel like it could be enough for them to come out of the East and then give whoever's coming out of the West enough scare. So that's my only problem with it. And then with AD and Andre Drummond, if they can't get it done, then I don't see Utah doing it. I don't see Phoenix doing it. I don't see Dallas doing it. I don't see Portland doing it. I don't see Golden State doing it. It's like I'm having a hard time finding even the only team that I see that I feel like really could give them some shake in the finals. I hate to say this shit, but the LA Clippers, because they got that fucking robot. And that would be the only thing. And because Paul George is kind of showing us some shit that he ain't been showing us. But we'll see when the playoffs come.
I ain't worried about it.
Right, we'll see when the playoffs come. But that's really how I feel about that. But if AD comes back and it's Andre Drummond and AD, no, we're gonna give him a run. We're not gonna slip too far.
I'm not worried, man. Lakers and 6.
That's what's up.
But if I probably was gonna put my money, I might put it on the Nets and KD come back. For real, man.
Them niggas is scary.
But I ain't gonna lie, with Andre Drummond coming, that's tough. So I'm torn right now. A bad man, I'm torn. I don't know. Not too sure yet.
We'll see. Time will tell. Time will definitely tell. So stepping outside the basketball game, that is, stepping inside the courtroom game. So I know a lot of people, even myself, tends to call it the George Floyd case, but George Floyd is not on trial. So it is actually the Derek Chauvin. Derek Chauvin. It is the Derek Chauvin trial. So obviously, Derek is the officer who had his knee on George Floyd's neck. And so I know you said the opening argument started today, Christian. And I was looking at the jury, right? Who's on the jury? Obviously, we're not gonna see no faces, but just want to throw it out there, get y'all fellas' thoughts on it. So Derek Chauvin is being charged with second-degree unintentional murder, third-degree murder, and second-degree manslaughter. The jury selection started on March 19th, and the jury consists of 3 Black men, 2 of which who are immigrants, 1 Black woman, 2 women who identify as multiracial, 2 white men, and 6 white women. So altogether that's 14, and so the 12, and obviously you have 2 alternates just in case one person may drop. Now here's something to consider, right? So the jury pool started out was of 326 people. 60 people were interviewed and questioned, trying to determine whether they were fit to be a part of the trial and the jury. And here's the kicker. So when I was reading about it, it said 2 people were taken away from the jury after originally being selected because they admitted they would not be able to judge fairly because Minneapolis had paid George Floyd's family the $27 million settlement. And so they kind of just like, hey, y'all cut them boys a check. I think y'all up to something. I ain't gonna be able to judge fairly. I smell something fishy. And so they would drop. It was 2 people. It didn't say whether they were male or female or their race. It just said that they had got dropped again after hearing that Minneapolis gave George Floyd's family a $27 million settlement. Hearing all that with the jury selection, obviously, it's what you can prove in court. I know earlier, Christian, a few episodes back, Christian was talking about the official coroner's report. I forgot that hyper is something
Excited delirium.
excited delirium, and so forth. So like hearing all that, like I don't know who wants to take this right now. Do y'all make anything of this? Is it too early to tell? Do y'all care? I mean, I think we should care about like who's on the jury, but like who would like to poke at this?
I would. Go ahead, Black Peace. Go ahead, Black Peace.
Well, I'm about to say, at least from off rip, I mean, it sounds pretty legit from the beginning. It sounds like a decent variety of people that's gonna call it how they see it rather than be persuaded, which me, in my opinion, I kind of, what's up?
I'm sorry, I want to make sure I give y'all everything before y'all go. Forgive me. So when it went out that the Minneapolis paid out the settlement, Derek Chauvin, the attorney, tried to go to the judge and was just like, yo, can we like get this moved out of this district or what, tried to move the court out of like that particular city, and the judge denied that motion. And obviously the Derek's attorney felt like, I don't think that's gonna help us any with us like paying out, or y'all paying out a settlement. So I just wanted to get that 2 cents as well. I'm sorry, Darnell.
Oh, you're good. I mean, at the end of the day, man, like the people just want justice and fairness. Like you could find an actual way to prove everything to be accurate, and which the information I appreciate from Christian, honestly, I was very enlightened from it. That's all that matters. Like keep it even. Don't, bombard it with this kind of people, that kind of people. The way you described it, you had couple of African Americans that are not from here. That's a good start. Being African American from here, that's kind of, because that's kind of like bias to begin with. But the fact that they're doing that, biracial women and men and so on and so forth, it helps out the situation of it actually being somewhat called a fair case. It won't be as blank and as obvious to show favoritism to one or other side. So hopefully it'll be somewhat of a overall justice to the situation with the people claim they want. And at the end of the day, that's what is looking like it's going to be delivered, especially with the judge actually denying the moving of the situation. I like that. I like for them to say, you know what, we're going to deal with it right here. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you say. We're going to get this done fair as possible. That's what the people want.
Yeah, I agree. I was surprised that they had two. Well, okay, I'm not that surprised because I know that the defense attorneys have slightly more power in choosing who gets on the who becomes a juror or not. So I would think that they would choose foreign or immigrant Africans or African ancestry people on there. But I do think, after I was looking more into, I didn't realize they had the second-degree manslaughter charge that they were charging them with. That I do think that they can get. I don't, after looking at the law, I don't see a way that he's not convicted of second-degree manslaughter. Third degree murder, maybe. Second-degree murder, I think it's highly unlikely that he's going to get convicted of that. But we'll see.
Real quick to read out that second-degree manslaughter, the terminology of it. Second degree occurs when a person continues with a reckless act that they are aware of committing, and they consciously disregard the potential fatal risk involved to others. So just want to read that out to the people listening.
Yeah, so I think they can get a conviction. Now, I've listened to and I've looked at a bunch of stuff from lawyers on both sides of the case, and it's still, from what I've seen, it's still 50-50 on that, but I think it's very strong that they can get that the second-degree manslaughter and possibly the third-degree murder. The second-degree murder charge, I don't think they'll be able to get, because that one, it has to be he has to be committing a felony at the time. And so the felony charge, I think that the prosecution would try to prove that he was committing would be assault. But there's the defense would say he was just acting and doing what he was trained to do as an officer. So I don't think they'll be able to prove that he was committing felony at the time to get the second-degree murder charge.
I was saying you was trying to say something earlier, Daisha. What you want to say, dog?
Right, actually, I like this because it's actually kind of giving me the feel of how we was before the playoffs. It was like, what you feel? I feel like the Chiefs, and I feel like the Bills, and I feel like Tom Brady. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I really got two words for this whole shit. It's called hung jury. I feel like that's what's gonna happen, bro. Like, get ready for it. I've been saying it. And Christian, this is where you come in, and black people, y'all need to not get mad. You know what I'm saying? Like, understand that this the way it goes, and wait for Christian to come and say, yo, stop all that mad shit, get on your shit, fuck it, they're not liking you, get with the plan, stop crying, move on. So that's what y'all gonna have to do in the immediate future. There's gonna be a hung jury. They're gonna let this nigga go on some manslaughter shit, on some goddamn what's the boy George Zimmerman bullshit, and y'all gonna be mad again. So then Christian, y'all gonna give Christian ammo to be like, shut the fuck up, stop crying all the time. So that's my take on it. I'm going hung jury. It's not gonna get a very long sentence for some kind of reason. Like, come on, man, stop playing, man. Y'all know how this shit goes. We've been black long enough.
I owe it to our audience and our viewers. I owe this to them to ask them or to ask him. Shineheart Izzo, is there anything that you would like to say or add?
Edward, thank you for the setup. I was gonna hold my peace and be extremely respectful of everybody's opinion, perspective, and heart. But today, Edward, my spirit is at peace.
Okay. I just had to ask. I had to give you that respect and give you the floor.
It's the Henley, bro. It's the Henley.
Yeah. And I'll just give a brief explanation as to why. I believe Sedacious expounded on a beautiful point. Though I do believe that they picked that jury in very much deliberate fashion on like, hey, if we can tweak it like this, and if we can get that motherfucker to leave and them, I'm
would strategic be a better word?
Right about time. So, unfortunately, I pray justice goes forth. People, it's not hard to see what's going on in the video. Though I don't want to get justice from, my emotional impulse from, seeing a slaughtering of a black man, but hopefully, I don't know. I know they're not gonna probably get him on the bigger charges, but hopefully they can get one of those smaller ones to stick, and hopefully maybe he can do more than 15 years, man. But it's smelling like 7 and some bullshit. Maybe he get out before, I don't even.
Edward, can you see what the manslaughter how many years that would be?
It's a piece of cake.
Because I know I was reading something that because this would be his first offense, like even if he got even if he got
first offense card too, and he white.
Right.
You smiling because you know what time it is, bro.
Right. Yeah.
You know what time. Because I'm just saying, bro, first offender, that's gonna be light off rip.
Yeah. So if he would have let's say he gets convicted of the second degree murder, right? This
dude is a bad actor though, bro. He got a free.
So to any of our Caucasian listeners, we are not racist. We just believe in white privilege. So we don't want y'all to feel like.
Whoa! They believe in white privilege. I don't.
We believe. Sorry.
Hold on. Look.
3/4.
hold on,
Bro,
look.
you don't believe that white privilege exists, Christian?
We're not getting into that.
No. Here's the thing.
I'm just asking him a question. We're not gonna get into nothing.
No, I was gonna say we can. Let's just keep it respectful and letting us express our views like we've been doing. If y'all want to go there, if not, let's keep it moving. Simple and plain.
He respects it, but I'm just saying, like, you don't believe there's evidence of white privilege existing? When we have white people on record going forth, pleading their spirits and pouring their blood, saying that it does exist. And I'm saying that because I do have white friends that have been in situations where they have told me that it is very much so a real thing. So in lieu of me saying these things, you still have that perspective that it does not exist, and you would rather go against these own people's experiences in their testimonies and saying that it is real, and you still believing that it does not exist.
Yes, this is why. One,
okay. I just want to set the stage to like what the audience is really.
Peggy McIntosh, the lady who invented the phrase, or who like put it out in academia to help it become something. She laid out a list of something like 36 or 60 things that was evidence of her white privilege, right? And many of those things, you know, if we go down the list, many of us on this podcast, if we looked at the list, we'd be like, okay, yeah, I got that. Dang, who's she talking about? It's anyone in the middle class is basically who she's talking about. There's middle class privilege. Anyone want to look up my man Wilford Riley? He has done different studies where he has looked at and he has utilized
an actual white person has come out and told you that.
Okay. Since you want to believe white people, since you want to believe white people, let me calm my voice down. Since you want to believe white people, there are white people who think that America is anti-white. Do you want to believe them too? They say that there's racism against white people. There's systemic racism against white people. Do you want to believe them too?
No, because I don't believe there's.
Okay. So just because a white person says like, oh, okay, hey,
have white people been enslaved before, Christian? Can you answer me that?
Yes, there's a history of the word slave comes from.
Wait. I'm not talking about. I know you about to give me the Holocaust ordeal. I know.
I'm not giving you the Holocaust ordeal. I'm giving you slavery, the history of slavery in the world.
By the Irishmans.
The history of slavery in the world. The word slave comes from the word Slavs. The Slavic people were enslaved. But basically, every society of humans has always had slavery. Where there are white people who were enslaved in America. No, they were indentured servants, but they were not enslaved. Continue on, sir. White privilege. There's more class privilege than there is white privilege.
I respectfully disagree with that, and I just think that's a lot of bullshit. I believe people do have certain privileges based off of a majority in an ideology that their race is superior than the others, and because they outweigh and outnumber people, that they are superior race than others. I don't believe
90% of white people don't believe that. 90% of white people don't believe that.
Very much so prevalent in society as it pertains to the privilege that and the attitude and perspective of certain Caucasian individuals that do believe that they are privy to certain treatment just due to them being white. I've also encountered this personally. I know you don't like firsthand accounts. You're more so a numbers guy. You like to look at the stats, but I'm like a living, breathing testament and soul that can tell you that I've experienced white privilege firsthand.
Okay. If the question is, Christian, have you ever been involved in a situation where you were treated differently because you were Black? Yes.
My question to you is, again, as I always ask you questions, a simple yes or no, just for the sake of understanding you fully. Is Christian articulating that he does not believe there is absolutely no white privilege in America, or is Christian saying he doesn't believe there's as much white privilege as people make it out to seem in America?
Okay, this is what I'm disagreeing with the notion, with the understood notion of white privilege as it stands in our consciousness, which is that if you're white, your life is easier, right? So when Oprah can come up, can go on TV and say, hey, even white coal miners have privilege over her. No, right? No, right? So that particular understanding, okay. Go ahead.
So okay, so you don't believe in the white privilege as it's overall constructed amongst most people, how it's presented in the mass media, whatever the case may be. If you do believe in some variation of white privilege, how is that constructed in Christian's personal mind?
In my personal mind, I believe that there are different privileges, multiple privileges, that occur in different situations, right? No matter if you're black, white, Asian, or otherwise, no matter if you're tall, short, there's different privileges, right?
But do you believe there's privilege when it comes to white people? I understand you believe like privileges in other areas, but specific to the thing.
Are there times? Listen.
You think that this is what
Isaac. Are there times? Are there times?
You good, bro.
I was about to answer today since I wasn't trying to interrupt him. I didn't know if he was like.
No. So to answer your question, Isaac, are there times where people are advantaged because they are white and not something else, right? Yes, that is clear. That always happens.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll take that. I'll take that from you.
But there are often many, and sometimes more times where people are advantaged if they are not white.
Okay.
And we don't
have a little snippet in.
Go ahead, Black Peace.
Bring us home.
Yeah, just real quick, man. I feel like there's privilege in everywhere, man. There's student privilege, there's adult privilege, there's privilege everywhere to a certain extent. The issue is it's all about who embraces it. It can be embraced as a small group, it can be embraced as a community, it can be embraced as, a team of people. And that's the issue. Like, it's some areas and certain people that embrace this and then they disembrace that. And it turns out as if everybody's doing it and everybody's doing it. It's like with racism. Like, if you're not this, you're that. And it's like, it ended up turning out to where you ended up being the person that you ended up pointing fingers at. To kind of like circle it back around, there is privilege everywhere, just like Christian was saying. But yet white privilege does exist. And it does exist to a certain extent to where it does make a difference between the other privileges. So like you say, you have a student privilege. As a college student, you have privileges to where, it may vary between the colors, but overall, they're still going to say, hey, you're a kid. Hey, you're just trying to live your life. Hey, you're just trying to have to get the good times out while you can.
I believe that.
So
I believe that.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where it's like, I've noticed that it's just the media and just politics that just embrace things that already exist and they magnify them and make them worse than what they already have to be. So it has always existed. Various different variations of privilege have existed. It's just all about how people magnify things and put them on the pedestal.
I couldn't have said it better.
Fellas,
I disagree all the way, but we can keep moving.
I actually agree with that sentiment to a certain extent, that there are many different types of privileges. Though we were talking about one, but many other privileges encompass into those things. So I would agree with that statement. A majority of it.
You got it, Dacius. Why you disagree?
No, well, I wanted to move forward for to say y'all gonna see me after this podcast.
No, let's have it. No. I mean, like we doing good with just being able to let each other speak. So, like, say your piece.
No, well, I don't. I understand that there are privileges. I have a privilege because I'm an alpha. You know what I'm saying? I created that privilege for myself because I went and did some shit that niggas wouldn't do. You know what I mean? So now I have a network of motherfuckers that's got my back for life. That's a privilege of mine. But I feel like there's a privilege that's given to a certain demographic that's not given to me because I'm another different type of demographic. I feel like white privilege doesn't necessarily have to be because police are not stopping white people more than black people. It's like, I feel like white privilege even goes as far as it's immigrants who come over into the United States, and the life that they want to model behind is like the quote unquote white life, to where it's like, you know what I'm saying, they go to the best schools and become doctors and pay student loans and get good credit and be able to move into these nice neighborhoods, and then boom, that's like, in our minds, you know what I'm saying, the minority, we feel like that's a whole bunch of more people who's pretty much getting like this quote unquote white life, this quote unquote white privilege, because the Asian can migrate over here, go to school, get the funding, all the FAFSA and all of the scholarships, go to the best school, get the doctor's degree, get the best job, and then go live in the neighborhood to where they tucked and they nice and they good, and the sheriff's department is going to monitor their neighborhood, and the sheriff's department ain't going to see, if I call 911 in the hood, I ain't going to see that motherfucker for an hour. You know, the Asian.
Hey, nah, that's real shit.
The Asian
bro, like my house got robbed
they stay at.
back in the grill, bro, and the police took an hour, bro. I live 10 minutes down, 5 minutes down from the police station. Where's my grandma?
I don't feel like,
come on,
just me personally, I don't feel like white privilege is as far as, it's so many different ways that
it's not limited to one.
It ain't limited like that to me. So that's why I choose not to talk about it, because there are many different ways that I feel like systematically that we are fucked with. So,
yeah, I just want to make one point, Edward. 1 point. I think my issue, right, is really exactly what you just explained, Sedacious. We call what you just explained is middle and upper class privilege. And we call it white privilege. Right? That's what you just explained. You just explained middle class and upper class privilege. And for whatever reason, we continue to only think of upper class and middle class as white, when that is not the truth. Asians and African immigrants are dusting white folks, and they are making up the bulk of the middle class right now and getting into the upper class. Right.
They're the ones that actually are working, and white folks are thinking they're entitled to it. So they're laying back to where, boom.
I mean, I don't.
To a certain
extent. I can't.
To an idea.
But what I'm saying is, our minds have been conditioned to think that, okay, hey, that lifestyle that you just described, that middle class, the upper class lifestyle that you just described, oh, that's white. Mm-hmm. That what you just described, the quote unquote American dream, oh, that's white. When actually the face of that is Asian immigrant, African immigrant, really just immigrant, period. Mm-hmm. People who are not born here or who are second generations here, they're the ones who are getting that. And then everybody else that's here getting left behind. And we still like to say that, okay, that's the white thing. And that's where I have just so much disagreement, because it's like, bro, we're missing it. We're missing it. We're missing the boat when we classify that as white, and then it's like, okay, hey, well, that must be something that's not for us.
So let me ask you something. Who controls what the immigrants come over here and are privy to? Who controls that? Do we control that? Do the minorities control that, or do the white people control that?
I would say that
because loans like FAFSA, scholarships, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? When immigrants come over and they get the visas and shit, black people don't own the visa companies and nothing like that. We don't own the banks who do the investments and do the scholarships.
There are black owned banks that give out loans.
No, there are, but the majority, like what's like
sure. The majority.
So since it's the white people who control the American dream, and it seems like we've been living with y'all as black people for forever, and y'all have been doing the best y'all can to make sure that we work double time to get to the American dream. When these motherfucking immigrants come over from out of wherever they come from, y'all just hand them their motherfucking American dream, and then they instantly go ahead.
Fun fact: the Bank of America started off originally as the Bank of Italy.
That's hard.
Thank you, Edward.
Well, I mean, but yeah. So the story of that is it was Italian immigrants who weren't allowed to bank at other banks, so they started their own bank, and they became more successful, and so they became Bank of America. So then just go back to the immigrant.
Isn't that ironic? When some shit is going good, white people come in and swoop it up and put their stamp on it and try to control it.
Okay, but if you understand the history of quote unquote whiteness in America, Italians were not considered white when they first got here. That's the reason why they weren't able to bank.
Brother, I had 15 seconds to take it. You couldn't even let me get it out. It's okay.
Where's Edward at? He left.
I don't know where he went.
He's right there. You can hear him. He's there.
I'm still here.
My bad, Shine Hard. Oh, so back to your point, though, Sedacious. To your point, if people have done is they looked at this. Black-owned banks, as far as giving out loans to Black people versus white-owned banks, right? White-owned banks, if you just look at it, hey, if I'm just a Black person, I just want to go get a loan, you are more likely to get a loan from a white-owned bank than a Black-owned bank, right? Why that is? White-owned banks, most of them are larger, right? They are able to take the risk, right? That most Black people who don't have good credit, right? They're able to take the risk that Black-owned banks that are smaller are not able to take, right? So it's not a race thing when it comes to the finance, at least for right now, right? Now, what happened throughout history, that's a different story. But for right now, right, the only color that matters to especially bankers is green. And if me giving you a loan is going to help me get more green, I'm going to give it to you, right? Based off of X, Y, and Z. And if you meet X, Y, and Z, no matter what your color is, I'm going to give it to you, right? Which is why even the blackest of Black people, African immigrants that come over here with good credit scores, they get the stuff. Okay? So for those white people who've been trying to hold Black people down, for some reason, they don't want to hold African immigrants down, right? So that we have to figure out a way, okay, how does that, if our priors say that these white folks don't want Black people to succeed, but for some reason they're allowing African immigrants to come and succeed, why is that? Something's not congruent there.
Wait. So would it not be because of racism? I'm confused. Is it because like they don't classify Africans from who come from, like, what I'm saying, Kenya and Nigeria. They
would be classified as Black?
No. So because they don't even classify themselves as Black.
White folks call them Black, call them niggas.
No. African thinks themselves to be a higher class of a person.
Yeah, okay, I understand.
Yeah, but white folks don't call them a nigga regardless.
Yeah, I'm saying if a white person, especially too, if it's a second generation person, so someone who's born here, right, whose parents are immigrants here, right, so they look just like us, right, talk just like us, dress just like us, listen to the same music that we listen to, right? They go into a bank. The quote unquote racist white banker can't tell if it's an African or if it's just a regular American Black person.
Okay, so your setup was, just to make sure your setup was clear, your setup was the bank has already given this African American's parents a loan. And
No. My setup is for their child.
So you're saying that so the Africans who have a child and goes to the bank is gonna produce the same child from the parents in the hood in poverty to go to the bank. So that's the setup, because that's what the comparison would have to be for me.
That's what I'm saying.
Who's in the African home, who knows English and doesn't have the African accent, right?
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
He's had the upbringing and everything like that of his immigrant parents who worked their ass off and all that shit, right?
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Versus someone who's coming from history, who's someone coming from history in his own country that's already been stacked up against him. Because now we're talking about somebody from my neck of the woods, which is a regular Black guy from the hood.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that they're the same person going to
what I'm trying to speak to, Sedacious, is from the view of the white person behind the counter, those two people look exactly the same.
No, see, but they don't talk the same.
He can't distinguish. He
All
can't
right, guys.
distinguish from those two by just looking at them.
Yeah, right.
And hearing them talk. That's what I'm talking about.
But see, that's what I feel. I feel like the person I'm talking about won't even make it to the bank, bro. He won't even think. His lineage will not tell him go to the bank, get a loan, and start a conversation. No, the African's lineage, the way that, you know what I'm saying, things have been set.
Don't rebuttal, Christian. Let him finish his take so we can wrap it.
Oh no, I'm done.
Yeah, I was saying, I don't disagree with you, Sedacious.
Christian, let him finish his take so we can wrap.
He said he's done.
All right, you agree with him. I gave y'all
all right. We'll talk more afterwards. Go ahead.
Yeah. So to wrap up that conversation, we started off with George Floyd. From Newsweek, the most serious charge against Chauvin carries a prison sentence of up to 40 years, although according to Minnesota sentencing guidelines state a sentence between 10 years and 9 months to 15 years could be recommended. So between 10 years and 9 months to 15 years could be recommended. That's no guarantee, but that's a gauge, I guess, of how it may go.
Ain't said, y'all.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Going good so far. 49ers, they trying to make some trade moves. Coach Johnson, you said you feel like, I don't know what 3 quarterbacks you were talking about specifically, but you said you see Hall of Fame in the future of 3 quarterbacks in this year's draft. Who are those quarterbacks?
Yeah, so Trevor Lawrence obviously is going to go number 1. Urban Meyer had a interview with Peter King where he basically said it without saying it, that the Jaguars are definitely picking Urban Meyer. Looks like Zach Wilson's going to go number 2 to the Jets.
They already
yeah. So it looks like Zach Wilson's going to go number 2 to the Jets, and then I believe that Justin Fields is going to be the number 3 pick to the 49ers. Everything to me just adds up there that he's going to be. But even if it's not Justin Fields, if it's Mac Jones, or if it's Trey Lance, whichever the top 3 quarterbacks is going to be, my take of them being Hall of Famers is less about them and more about the situations that they're walking into, right? And the offensive coordinators that they're going to be behind and around, right? The offensive coordinators, Trevor Lawrence will be with Darrell Bevell, right? Who worked with Brett Favre his last year in Minnesota, who had one of his best years of his career. Who worked with Russell Wilson as a rookie for his first 5 years, right? So working him in, came into the league, got to Super Bowl and everything. Went to 2 Super Bowls actually, and then got with Matthew Stafford, gave Matthew Stafford his best years, right? The Jets offensive coordinator is Mike LaFleur, the younger brother of Matt LaFleur, who has been with Kyle Shanahan since his days in Washington, D.C. with the Washington football team. And he knows that offense back and forth, and he's going to implement that offense with Zach Wilson. And then Kyle Shanahan, who y'all know, if there's anybody that's a groupie for Kyle Shanahan, it is me. I think that
Yes, it is.
Great word.
No pause. No pause.
No
right.
pause.
Hold the pause.
No pause. But we've seen Kyle Shanahan take mediocre quarterbacks and make them great. And so all 3 of these quarterbacks are stepping into great situations with weapons around them and great offensive coordinators to put them into situations where they can succeed. They're also going to be in offenses that don't rely heavily on the quarterback to be great. They're going to give him all the answers to the test. And so that's going to set up great for these quarterbacks, and they're going to look great doing it. And all these guys have talent as well. So I'm happy to see what they're going to be. It's going to be very much like the 2004 class of quarterbacks.
So okay. So my question to that is, are they just going to look great, or are they going to actually be great? because we talk about a lot of times. We also have that debate of like, yo, it's what's around him that makes him look that great. It's not that he's really good. He just has these things around him. So is it they just gonna be great just because of what's around them, or do you think they're gonna be great because they gonna, you know, eventually as they progress, like no matter what?
So I think I'll say this. I think Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, and Justin Fields all have the talent to be great by themselves. But I think the situation that they're going into is going to magnify that by 10. And so we're not going to be in the situation where we're blaming the situation. Oh, you know, they don't have receivers. All of them have Pro Bowl receivers, you know, with them. Or they don't have a good offensive coordinator. All of them got good offensive coordinators. Or they don't have a good offensive line. All of them have pretty decent offensive lines, right? They're going into great situations, all of them. Whoever's going to be the 49ers quarterback probably won't play the first year unless Jimmy G gets hurt. But outside of that, man, it's going to be freaking beautiful. It's going to be beautiful to see. Yeah. I'm excited.
Scheinhardt is the Ravens got Sammy Watkins. I start the question off with Isaac, but like I know we say either a really good receiver and like two other consistent guys. Is Sammy Watkins like, is he like a worthy enough of help for Lamar Jackson, or is like it's still like he still ain't really got nobody?
I believe that's a really good addition for the Ravens. He's going to step in and be the number one, which they've been lacking because I don't believe Hollywood Brown is the number one receiver. I believe he's better suited for a slot, maybe a number two. We can make an argument utilize within the slot, but I think Sammy Watkins will, give him versatility on the outside, give him some much needed athleticism, some speed. I do. It's a big body wide receiver as well, so I think it'll be a good addition for Lamar and his growth and development.
Clear eyes, full hearts. Everybody good?
No, I highly disagree.
I knew it. I saw it in your fucking face the whole time. Whenever you went to look up in that computer, you went to go look up ammo, nigga. I saw it in your eye.
Yeah, I think that Hollywood Brown is still the best receiver on that
because
team.
The numbers say what, Christian?
I don't even need the numbers. I don't even need the numbers. Hey, we let's go back. Let's go back to the Super Bowl. Prior to the Super Bowl, we said the keys for the Chiefs' victory was a second receiver stepping up. Sammy Watkins wasn't even getting targets.
He's hurt.
Okay. Second thing, when's the last time Sammy Watkins played a full season?
Chris, it's a 1 year deal. It's a 1 year deal.
The last time he was great was, let me see. His second year in the league.
Bills?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was his last time. He was great.
He never has been a man.
He had a great game versus the Jags a couple years ago. That was great.
He didn't have a quarterback back then, man. He never was the main focus on offense. He's not a main primary target on the Kansas City Chiefs team that has fucking career years for Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill back to back to back. Like Tyreek Hill, just due to his last 3 years, he's gonna go to the Hall of Fame just off of his last 3 or 4 years alone. Like that's facts. Because it's so unprecedented. Yes, he will. And they'll point to the juncture in time as to, the targets that they receive. Sammy Watkins is like maybe a third option on the team.
That's fine.
Christian, before you go,
is he a great third option though? He has not.
Christian, hold on. I want to hear
say that now. You can't say that now.
Sedacious. What was you about to say?
Well, no. What I was finna say is, Christian, sometimes you need to learn to just be like, yo, Sammy Watkins fell off a little bit. And then just leave it at that. Like, you ain't got to go.
So numbers would suggest that he's a sorry bitch.
When
And that
Isaac
we
was talking,
shouldn't
bro.
like, no.
When Sean Hall was talking, I
Not
seen
blaming
you
hot garbage, bro.
Googling.
Sammy
Bro,
Watkins.
hey, Sedacious. Hey, I wonder if he got that full game. When was the last time he played a full season? I wonder if he knew that off the top or if he Googled if that's on his screen right now.
No.
I thought about it already. I was like, when's the last time this fool played a full season? The last time he played over 200 snaps was
Right.
2019.
I seen all that shit, bro. You ain't gonna listen to my man Take Home. You can go hear Sammy Watkins and go,
Hey man, that boy.
Hey,
Like,
he's a
look,
Christian
you just
numbers
told my
George
man,
Johnson,
hey,
man.
yo, Sean Hard, I feel like Sammy Watkins falling off a little bit, bro. I'm just saying. And we could have moved on, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, but for you to say what you just said, though, you cannot say that yet. Isaac is right. You can't say that, bro. You gotta say, you can't say that he's not a good third option yet, bro.
No, Sean Hart said he's the number one. That was the
No,
question.
On
wasn't
the
it?
Ravens team, he will
What?
be a number
Hold up.
one, bro.
Edward, wasn't that the question?
I
No,
just-
that
didn't
was
say
not the
what-
question. He
I just
asked me
said,
to
is
be
he
a
a
good
worthy
addition on the
addition?
team.
No, it'd be a good
And I said, on this team, he will be their number one, and he will quite literally come in and be one of their better options at the wide out position. He will be X. He's going to be the guy.
Will he be
got
a
our-
better option?
he will.
than what they
On this
had?
team, he
sure. He's not the best receiver on that team.
Well,
And
they
y'all
had
don't,
Bryant
and y'all,
be the
and we
better
don't
option.
have
That's
to
cool.
agree on that.
That's cool.
Well, because he's a better option because they literally they
Des Bryant is
take,
not on this team anymore.
right. They take Des Bryant out and then they put Sammy Watkins in, and I feel like that's an upgrade. I'm sorry.
It
Des
could be an
Bryant was
upgrade.
not getting time like that. He only played maybe 20 to 25 snaps a game at that. But now we can. Yeah, I think we.
Yeah.
All I gotta say is the Ravens tried to get other receivers and failed. They went after Juju. They went after T.Y. Hilton.
Yeah.
They went after Kenny Galladay. So they were trying.
I didn't tell you the nigga was the best shit since sliced bread. I just told you on this team.
We done with that. We already. I'm not
And for
speaking
this
on that no
team,
more.
it'll be a good impact for this team in this situation.
Because we already
This might be
said-
one of his better situations that he's been in. Maybe
Okay,
some innovation
we already
on the
agreed to
offensive
disagree.
play caller
Listen.
side. You know, he'll have a career year. I'm rooting for Sammy.
I want to see what they do in the draft, though. I want to see what they do in the draft. I would love to see Rashad Bateman go there. Rashad Bateman or Terrence Marshall. Those two guys, I know there's a lot of talk about Jamar Chase, Devontae Smith, and Jalen Waddle, but I think those two guys can be legit number ones in the league, and they could probably get them at that number 27 spot. So where they're drafting. So I think that they have a shot at either one of those two guys.
Right on. We pretty much done with our topics, but real quick, it may or may not spark up anything. I would say in terms of talking about privilege, I think one of the privileges that I am forever grateful for and I do not take lightly is what I believe is a two-parent household privilege. I think that could be very taken for granted for people who were able to grow up in a two-parent household healthy. I know every family or situation isn't perfect. But I know for me, my biggest privilege that I think I've, been able to benefit from is a two-parent household privilege. So yeah.
Just to briefly touch on that, I've experienced both walks of life for a little while, being in a single parent household. So I was about 10. And then, after that experience in a two-parent household. And it does make a big difference, man. It does make a huge difference in a child's life. And, I believe that is pivotal.
Right on. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what we like to call the Respect the Game podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for commenting, getting in our mentions, whether you agree or disagree with us. Keep commenting, keep sharing. And as always, whether you hate us or you like us, appreciate the conversation, disagree with the conversation will make you respect the game. So God bless you. We'll see y'all next week.